Hello everybody, RaspberryBeryl here, and now we're starting the reading of Star Butterfly's biography, Part 2. And if you hear anything in the background, please forgive me and ignore it. My computer has a really annoying fan, and I have some brothers in the background that are being loud and noisy. I hope you all enjoyed the last Star Butterfly's biography, Part 1, and are ready to listen to the next. Please forgive me if I stutter, hesitate, or mispronounce anything, and let's begin. Okay, we left off and Star had just gone into the butterfly tapestry room where she had found the thing that didn't belong in her wand, Toffee's finger, and had thrown it into the closet. 2 days later, on Splanix 16th, Star was to learn something new from the Book of Spells. I made the mistake of letting Star choose the chapter we would be reading and learning from. Star chose Eclipse's chapter, and I told her it was the most dangerous chapter and her mother would never allow it. But that only made her want to do it more. I decided it would be fine. I was there to be with her, and so I unlocked the chapter. I was getting ready to begin, but then got interrupted and pulled into the bureaucracy of magic. While I was gone, Star had Marco turn the page, and then she read the whole chapter. When I returned, Star was disappointed by what she had read. She had hoped it would be something more interesting. I was glad she was fine, but then I was shown that Marco was not. And so I taught Star the spell to fix Marco. It was on Splanix 20th that Star would lose the magic book of spells, and Glossaric, to Ludo and his minions. Star had promised Jana that she'd go with her to a dead clown seance. Before Star left with Jana, she helped Marco prepare for the school dance, which he was gonna go with Star, but then was able to catch a date with Jackie Lynn Thomas. Once Jackie arrived and Marco walked down the stairs, Star started to feel a little sad and slightly jealous. Jana soon arrived and her mother drove them to the graveyard. Star tried to focus on the seance, but couldn't stop thinking about Marco and the way he looked at Jackie in the photo she took of them. She kept asking Jana what she thought, and Jana ended up deleting the photo, hoping that would help. I decided to join the girls on their seance as well. I had to show them that the clown had a meat nose, and I knew what was to come. As the night went on, Jana and I grew tired and started to fall asleep, but Star stayed awake trying to call Marco. She then came to me and asked what the name of Eclipse's spying spell was. I told her it was called the All-Seeing Eye, but that she shouldn't use it because spying on others isn't right. Star decided to use it anyway, and saw Marco and Jackie on a skateboard together. Although she did not intend it, she knocked them off the skateboard and onto the ground accidentally. After doing so, Star immediately ended the spell and asked herself what she was doing. Just then, rats started swarming all around them and awoke Jana. Then it looked as if Bon Bon the magic clown had returned, but it was actually Ludo in disguise. He started to cast magic, and the rats started fighting Jana and Star. Star used a sucking spell to try and suck Ludo into the void, but then Marco and Jackie arrived to help, and Star started to feel guilty. The spell she was casting suddenly reversed and started to suck Star in instead. Marco could either grab the book or save Star, and he chose Star. Jana, Marco, and Jackie then grabbed each other and tried to pull Star out and stop her from continuing to be sucked in. The group successfully pulled Star out, but were too late to retrieve the book and myself. Star was devastated at losing me and the book, her family history. She threw herself around Marco and began to cry. Star was eager to go and retrieve the book back from Ludo the next day. Marco was hesitant and told Star to calm down. Star and Marco went to Mewni and met with Buffrog, who had been writing them letters, but Star and Marco were unable to read them and assumed that they were from the tadpoles. Buffrog showed them Ludo's hideout and told them how Ludo was very different now. Star did not care to wait and make a plan. She dashed into the hideout, ready to attack. When they got there, Ludo and his minions had left, and some rebel teen monsters were staying there instead. Star used the spying spell a second time to try and locate the book and eye. Star performed the spell and found me. When she did, Ludo had just given me some pudding, and I was enjoying myself. Star begged me to tell her where Ludo was keeping me, but I was obedient to the owner of the book, and so refused. Star then did something I had never seen before. She reached through the spying spell to grab me, but I knew what Star needed, and so did not accompany her back through the eye. After the spell failed, Marco told Star that it was okay, and that they didn't need me. Star then learned that the monsters taking residence there were fans of hers, despite being monsters. They said that they were fans of her due to her rebellious attitude, doing things her own way. They then asked her to please blast them with one of her spells. The monsters gave Star the great idea and confidence of herself as the rebel princess, and that night Star started to create her own spellbook, just like her grandmother Skywyn did hundreds of years ago. After returning from the failed mission, Star called her mother and father and told them what had happened, and to her surprise, they told her it was fine and that they were just glad that she was safe. In reality, the king and queen were very worried for their daughter and their kingdom. Now that Ludo had taken the book and me, they discussed what they should do about Star, and came to the conclusion that to have Star evaluated, for it was better than bringing Star back to Mewni right away. Moon summoned the magic evaluator, Baby, right away and sent her to Star. Star and Marco prepared for Baby's visit. Marco spent hours making plenty of meals for Baby. Baby soon appeared and ate all the food quickly, and so Marco left to prepare some more. This left only Star and Baby in the room, and Baby started to evaluate Star right away, and found many interesting things. Star showed Baby her wand and her own notebook of spells. Baby then asked Star to perform the Levitato spell and bring her the apple she had made appear. Star had lots of trouble doing what Baby wanted and couldn't do the simple Levitato spell. Baby told Star that she was done, and Star asked her to tell her how she had done. Baby then looked over her notes and explained that Star had failed. Star could not accept failure, and so tried the spell one more time, and seemed to fail. Then suddenly, the apple sprouted into a beautiful tree and placed an apple right in front of Baby. Star asked if she had passed now, and Baby had no reply, only a smile, and then she flew away. Baby returned to the queen and explained to her how Star did in fact fail, and was not perfect in many ways, but she was very advanced in magic. Baby explained that Star was way more advanced than even Queen Moon, and she hadn't seen anything like this since Queen Eclipsa. Hearing this frightened the queen. She feared what could happen next for her daughter. Zamaron II, Star was practicing her spellcasting, and Marco asked to borrow the magical scissors so he could take the puppies on a walk, and Star agreed. Several minutes went by, and then a man and his dog were right in front of her. Star freaked out at first and sent the man away. She then went searching for Marco and realized the portals everywhere. Marco had gone scissor happy. She then looked and saw the one portal that didn't look good. She called Ponyhead right away. Ponyhead revealed to her that it was Hekapoo, member of the Magic High Commission's portal, and that Ponyhead had found the scissors in the bounce lounge, and they were not actually hers. Star ran to the portal, hoping to save Marco before Hekapoo brought him harm, only to discover that time worked differently in that dimension, and Marco had been there for 16 years, trying to retrieve the scissors for Star. In that time, Marco had befriended Hekapoo in a sort, earned his own pair of scissors, a dragon cycle, and much more. Marco had also become very buff, and Star was in shock and in love at first. Star asked Marco to please return with her, and explained to him that he had only been gone from Earth for about 8 minutes. Marco was hesitant, but decided to return with Star. When they arrived back on Earth, Marco looked like his regular self and had lost all his sweet bod, but did retain the bald spot that Hekapoo had been giving him on the back of his head. Zamaron IV, Star meets member of the Magic High Commission, Omnitraxis Prime, after being unable to solve a math problem and almost letting the universe shatter. He showed Star the different dimensions and universes, and that each star from this world was able to do the math problem, and because she couldn't, the world was breaking. Star didn't want to do the work, but after just trying, she was able to save the multiverse. On Zamaron VIII, Star got an unexpected call from Ponyhead, where she informed Star that the Bounce Lounge was closing. Star was surprised and so sad. She and Marco and Ponyhead then ventured to this Bounce Lounge to try and figure out why it was closing. They met Millie Sparkles, the owner of the lounge, who told them she needed more money, and so Star reassembled her Bounce Lounge crew. But just their crew wasn't enough, and so they started inviting more people. Marco even put in $650, but Miss Millie told them that the real reason the lounge was closing was that she was too old and needed to stop partying. The group accepted it and hoped to at least get one more party, but Millie told them no, she was closing it right then. And so the bounce lounge was closed, but they all had fun that day, and Pony had managed to grab the photo booth that they had used there in their younger years. On Xamaron 14th, Star snuck down to try and eat some Blancher sugar seeds before Marco got up in the morning. She came downstairs and then was suddenly crystallized by MHC member Romulus. Marco had heard something and came into the room, and then was also crystallized. Romulus took both of them to the crystal dimension, where he presented Star to the Chancellor-elect, thinking she was the cause of the magical Fritz. The Chancellor freaked out, and Romulus froze him as well. Romulus uncrystallized Star's upper half and demanded that she tell him about the Fritz. Star had no idea what he was talking about, and accidentally let it slip that she had lost the book and I. Romulus was overjoyed to hear that I was gone, and explained it probably wasn't good for the universe, though. Star helped Romulus understand that he shouldn't always go with his gut. They both agreed to keep each other's secrets, and Romulus took Star and Marco back home to Earth. Xamaron 16th, Star and Marco were going about themselves having a normal day when they arrived back at the Diaz house to find Miss Heinous and her minions speaking to the Diaz parents. Star and Marco assumed them to be being held captive, and so attacked. The Diaz parents then told them to stop right away so that they could all talk. Miss Heinous told them what Marco had done to her school and how he inspired all the girls of St. O's to rebel. The girls started making movies, posters, and dolls of Princess Tardina, and they threw Miss Heinous out. Star asked Marco of his merchandise, and Marco revealed to her that he got a $650 check every month. The agreement that they reached was for Marco to get dressed up and record a message telling the princesses that he was wrong. And he did it, but he was clearly being sarcastic, and Miss Heinous couldn't notice it due to her finally feeling that she got what she needed to get her school back. Once it was done, Miss Heinous left, and the Diazes, along with Star, had a nice family game night. Xamaron 17th, Star, Marco, and Jackie were all going to a Love Sentence concert together. Jackie and Star were hyped and ready for the show, but Marco was tired and afraid of embarrassing himself in front of Jackie. Nothing seemed to go right for him at first. They were all on their way there when Marco accidentally ran into a batch of ducks with the skateboard Jackie had given him. The crew took a pit stop at the animal hospital, and then to the river, and then continued on their way to the concert. They arrived there right on time, and it started with Star and Marco's favorite song. Star and Marco got right up and started dancing. Then Jackie popped up and revealed it was also her favorite song. The three then danced together to the song, and when the song began to soften, Star looked over to see Marco and Jackie kissing. Star was taken aback and decided to just leave the concert. Marco went after her, and she told him that she was just trying to get closer to the band. Marco went back up and continued to kiss Jackie, and Star left the concert trying to hide her jealousy, but then blasted the sign of the tour behind her. It was Cork 10th, 6 months after Star received her wand, and as tradition said, it was time for Star to have her princess song written and be presented to the people as the future Queen of Mewni. Moon called Star and explained the situation to her in the morning. She showed Star her princess song, and Star was not fond of it, feeling it didn't say anything about her mother. Moon told Star that it didn't really matter if Star liked it, she was going to have a song written about her. After hanging up, Star decided that she would just avoid the situation until it was over. Soon, Star's new personal songstrel, Rubaryet, arrived at the Diaz's house, ready to write Star's song. Star brought him in and said that she'd be making tea in the kitchen and would return in just a moment, but really she flew away on Cloudy and called Jana, hoping to go to the mall. Star returned home later. Rubaryet was still there, to her dismay. Marco told Star that she should just do it and not run away from her problems. Star sighed, realizing that Marco was right, and the two hugged, but felt weird once realizing that Rubaryet was watching them closely. Star explained to Rubaryet why she didn't want to do the song, and he said he also thought the songstrels before him were hacks, and he wanted to write a great song, but it was clear that she didn't want this. Rubaryet then left in anger. Star realized what she had done and ran after him. She returned his notebook, and they both agreed to write the song together. Rubaryet got what he said he needed, and left to do the final touches for the song. Marco and Star then got ready to go to the Song Day Festival, but had some trouble on the Royal Mile. They arrived there right on time, though, and Moon told Star how proud and happy she was with Star for trying. Star felt nervous, though, because she knew that Ruberia and her were doing something that wasn't done before. The song then started and seemed to be just like all the rest, but then, out of nowhere, it turned into a rock-pop song, and everyone was loving it. The song appeared to be done, and Moon congratulated Star, but Star explained that the song wasn't over. The song then started back up, and started to be about the book being taken by Ludo, and then the royal family hiding this from the people in the MHC. Moon was in shock, and Star understood her expression and started to worry. The song ended and Star was glad. She quickly tried to apologize to her mom when, once again, the song started back up. But this time, even Star wasn't expecting it. The Princess Star doll came back out, and then a doll of Marco. The song said that Star had a crush on Marco, and presented the both of them looking into each other's eyes, and then the song ended for real. The people of Mewni started screaming and yelling at the royal family in the MHC, who ran to the castle. Then the MHC started yelling at Moon. How could she hide that from them? Moon asked Star what she was thinking. Star explained how she just wanted to show the people who she was, but Moon said no. They just wanted to believe that Star was a perfect princess. Star and Marco looked at each other, and then Star asked for just a minute. She ran into the corner, got on Cloudy, and flew away. It was the next day, and Star and Marco were both back on Earth, but not speaking. Marco was having a party at his house for the end of the school year. Star sat on the stairs, worrying due to not having spoken to Marco since she had last seen him at the Song Day Festival. She wanted to speak to Marco and apologize for the song and assure him that she did not have a crush on him. She got the strength and walked over to Marco, and there he was with Jackie. Jackie left to give them both a minute to catch up. They both attempted to speak to one another, and it was very awkward. They both admitted to avoiding the other, and they were both very nervous to try to reconnect. They then had a very awkward high-five fist bump before running in opposite directions, away from each other. Star then walked into the kitchen and saw the beach day photo she had received from Father Time. It gave her hope. Star was then feeling very bad and jealous of Jackie and called an immediate best friends meeting. Quickly, Princess Ponyhead, Jana, Kelly, and Starfan 13 all arrived in Star's room. Star then told them how she found it hilarious that Marco actually thought that she had a crush on him. All of Star's friends then asked, "Didn't she?" Star said no, she didn't, and started to freak out, and so her friends told her that they believed her. To try to get Star's mind off Marco, they all went to the Bad Kids party on the top of some roof. Star was feeling a little weirded out, and then she saw Oscar Greason. He had gotten his hair cut, and she could actually see his beautiful eyes. It had been forever since Star had thought about Oscar. She went up and said hello to Oscar, and he remembered her right away, and asked where Marco was, but he couldn't remember what Marco's name was, and so called him Mango. Oscar started to play his guitar, and then it flew off into the sky, and he asked Star if she thought it would end up on Mars. Star told him that she didn't think so, and that agitated Oscar a little, and so she agreed that yeah, it could. Oscar then told her that that was what he liked about her so much, that she had always believed in him. Star then attempted to show him some of her spells. She did a fireworks kitten blast, and all the people on the rooftop agreed that it was so beautiful. That was until lots of cats came crashing down. Star then said that she should probably stop doing spells involving cats. Star and Oscar had a conversation with one another, and Oscar told her that he thought she was really great, and he'd love to hang out with her that summer. Then he tried to give Star a high five, and she explained how she was awful at that. Oscar said she couldn't do it wrong, and so Star gave him a bit of a fist bump. And it was an awkward, yet nice moment between them. Star then got up and went to go talk to her friends, and they told her she did great, and all she needed to do was forget about Marco. The police then showed up and told the kids that they better get off that roof, or have a permit. Some of the kids then started running away from the police, and Star and her crew went back to the house. Right there, Star felt she needed to have the courage and speak to Marco just once more and make it less awkward. She approached Marco once again, and Marco walked away from Jackie. Star and Marco spoke to each other, less awkward this time. Star explained that She really wanted to talk to Marco, but felt that maybe it was too awkward and Marco wouldn't want to be friends. They both made up and agreed to forget about the song day completely. Marco said that was great, but he just needed to know if Star really did have a crush on him. Star said no, but that was a lie. She then continued to walk back up to her room. When she entered her room, she saw a portal and wondered where it had come from and how it got there. Then appeared her mother in the shadows. Star asked her mom what she was doing there, and her mom explained that she was taking Star back to Mewni immediately. Star refused, saying she was going to stay here on Earth and hang out with Marco. She was choosing to stay on Earth, and she was choosing to have a crush on Oscar. Star explained how she was very excited for summer and not going to school, but then Moon interrupted her and explained that she needed to go back immediately because Toffee had returned. Hearing this, Star understood right away and asked for 2 minutes to say goodbye. Star was very nervous about the whole thing, and she just yelled down the stairs to Marco. She got Marco and everyone else's attention, and she explained to Marco that she had to leave. Marco was very confused, but Star explained that something bad was happening on Mewni, and she had to leave for probably ever. Star looked into Marco's eyes and told him she'd probably never see him again, and she couldn't leave without telling him she did have a crush on him. She quickly yelled goodbye to everyone and ran away before Marco could respond. She quickly performed her spell and went into the portal with Queen Moon and disappeared. It was the next day, around midnight. Star was in her carriage while Moon directed the horse. Star was spying on Marco with the all-seeing eye and saw Marco sitting there sadly, playing music waiting for Star to return. He had left the party stuff up, so once Star returned, she might feel like things were normal. Star watched as the Diaz parents walked down to see why Marco was still up and why he was so sad. Marco said he was missing the Blanchard sugar seeds, but Star knew that they were just behind the dog food. Moon told Star to stop using her magic and to check on the Magic Eye Commission, who had been taken out by Toffee the previous day. The commission was fine, and then out of nowhere the carriage started to degrade, and Queen Moon explained that it was the magical Fritz and that their magic was failing. Quickly, the wagon, Warnicorn, and many of their things were gone. Queen Moon explained that everything was fine as long as they had their magical path to guide them to the sanctuary, but sadly, just then, that too failed and disappeared. Star and Moon decided to settle down for the night, and Moon attempted to try to make a fire. Star then made the fire herself, and Moon asked where she had learned to do that, and Star answered that Marco had taught her. Star was making a fire, but then Moon quickly kicked it out, and Star asked why she'd do that, and Moon showed her that there were rats following them, and they quickly both hid. Star decided she wanted to jump right in and fight the rats, even if she couldn't use her wand. The rats then started attacking back and released the Magic Eye Commission from their strings. The MHC started to float away as the rats ran. Moon and Star ran after the Magic Eye Commission, who had next gotten stuck in a tree. Moon and Star climbed up the tree to try to retrieve them, and some vines quickly grabbed Queen Moon and Star had to release her. Eventually, they got to the top of the tree and were able to get the MHC back again. From there, Moon was able to see where they were and was able to walk the rest of the way to the magical sanctuary. Queen Moon performed the password with the alligator, and they were brought to the magical sanctuary. Moon and Star then entered the sanctuary and put the Magic Eye Commission in their paws and attempted to heal them, but then realized that all the magic was also corrupted inside the sanctuary. Moon decided to take the next step and went over to the vending machine and asked Star what she'd like for dinner. Star was so confused about why they didn't just go and fight Toffee. They could do it. Star and Moon started to argue, and Star started to ask why her mom was like this. What happened to her cool warrior queen mom that everyone told her stories of? Moon explained that she was never some cool rebellious warrior princess. She was a nice teen girl just like Star, and then Toffee came and killed her mother. Star stopped, confused once again, and said her mother had told her that her grandmother was sent to the grandma farm to hang out with other grandmas. Moon held her face, and Star asked her to tell her the story. Quark 12th, Star learned the story of her mother and grandmother. Moon explained that she wasn't much older than Star was now when her mother was killed and she battled Toffee, and she did it by making a deal with Eclipsa. Star was surprised to hear the eclipse of the Queen of Darkness was actually still alive, and Moon continued to tell Star the story. Star and Moon awoke the next day to find the corrupted magic all around them, almost drowning them. They could no longer stay in the magical sanctuary to stay safe. They both didn't know where else they could hide, until Star got the idea to go visit Buffrog and stay with him. Moon did not want to stay with the monster at first. She still did not trust monsters, but Buffrog was very happy to see Star, and Star was happy to see him and his cute little tadpoles. Buffrog informed them, though, that Ludo had taken over the castle. Star told her mom that they had to go and save King River, but Moon said no, they had to stay safe. Star went to hang out with the tadpoles and try to find a way to escape, and go get Toffee herself, while Moon and Buffrog played a board game together. Star almost snuck out when then Buffrog revealed to the Queen what Star was doing in defense of him and his family. Star was put back in with the tadpoles and thought for a while, and then little Katrina started talking and told Star of their secret passage they used to go to the club sometimes. Star used this passage and started running toward Butterfly Castle. Star ran to the castle to find that Toffee/Ludo had completely taken over the kingdom. There were rat guards everywhere, and Star needed to get in. Luckily, she had a closet full of her old costumes, and she was sure there'd be a rat one in there somewhere. Star managed to sneak her way into the castle and to the closet, and luckily enough, there was a very poorly made rat costume. Star pulled the rat costume on and made her way to the throne room, where she hoped to find Ludo. She was on her way there when she ran into him in the elevator, and so she went ahead with her plan. She tried to quickly grab him from behind, but he realized and started calling for help. They made it to the throne room, and Star took off her mask and demanded that Ludo tell her where her dad was. Ludo just then started talking to his wand hand, and his spider minion came from behind and trapped Star in its web. Ludo finished speaking to his wand, and then went back to Star, who had once again demanded he tell her where her dad was. Ludo told her how he had levitatoed him, but Star hadn't learned that spell and didn't really know what he was saying. He then told her that he threw the king into the sky, and he made fun of her for not knowing the levitato spell despite being a princess of Mewni. Star told Ludo that he was being controlled by Toffee, that Toffee was in the wands, but Ludo stopped her and disagreed. He wouldn't accept that. He did this. He became king. Ludo then had his bird and spider take Star to a cell. Star tried to free herself from the chains, and then someone came into her cell wearing a big mouse costume, and it was revealed to be Marco. He beat up the rat guards and attempted to free Star from her chains with his karate. After that failed to work, he got out the keys and unlocked the chains. Star hugged Marco, and then he revealed his rebel group, the Resistance. Rubariat, Fulduke, and the Mime. They revealed their plan to Star, but Star told them that Ludo wasn't the problem, that it was Toffee. As Star was explaining to them what was going on, Ludo came walking into her cell with some tea, hoping to get a moment with Star. Ludo then called his guards and chained up the rest of the resistance, and took Star with him to one of their castle balconies. Star was ready to fight, but Ludo revealed he wanted to hear what Star had to say about the wands. He felt troubled that he was talking to his hand, and he saw the signs that things were not well. Star told him once again that Toffee was in the wands, corrupting them. Why else would she be here without a wand? Ludo began to freak out, and then Star realized how she thought Toffee had gotten into the wands. She told Ludo she could get Toffee out, but he'd have to trust her. Ludo agreed, and so Star started performing the whispering spell. And as the ghost of the mill horse left, Queen Moon called out to Star from another balcony. Queen Moon recognized what was happening and told Star no. He yelled to her to get away from there, but it was too late. A massive explosion happened, destroying most of the part of the castle, and Star was sent into the wand, or into the realm of magic. Star swam up from out of the deep broken magic and tried to figure out where she was. Then she heard the sound of her mother's voice, asking Ludo where Star was. Star called out to her mom that she was fine and she was right there, talking through Ludo. Queen Moon was so happy that Star was somewhat safe and began kissing Ludo's body until Star asked her to stop. The Queen asked Star where she was, and Star said she was fine, but she had no idea where she was. Suddenly, the image of her mother disappeared, and Star could no longer talk to her. Toffee then appeared out of the gloop ginormous. Star felt disgusted by swimming in what she thought was Toffee, but he told her that it was simply her magic. Star tried to call out to her mom, but only Toffee could talk to her now. Toffee then took control of Ludo's body, made the image appear, and said he would give them back Star if they gave him his finger. Queen Moon agreed and told him to take it from her hand. She would do anything for her daughter. Star called out to her mother to stop, but she didn't want things to get any worse. Toffee took his finger and attached it to his hand. Inside the magic dimension, he said goodbye to Star, and suddenly his whole body started to regenerate all around Ludo. Toffee spit Ludo out and then crushed his half of the crystal, making it so they couldn't get Star back. The image disappeared once again. Star called out, searching for some way to escape. Star swam around, looking for any little bit of magic left, but each time she found some, it faded before she could reach. The princess began to cry as she started to lose hope. Then below her to the left, she saw a small bit of magic left. She held her breath and swam deep down to try and grab it, but right as she was about to touch her hand to it, it faded away, and the princess lost her breath. The princess would awaken when I asked her to try my soup. Star was outraged when she saw me, and I forced some of it into her mouth. She spit it out and asked where we were, and I responded that I didn't know, and that no one had ever been to where we were before. The princess started freaking out and fearing that she had died and would now be stuck with me for eternity. I didn't deny it, I just told her that I felt a little insulted. I tried to calm her and ask her to settle down so we could try to enjoy ourselves, but she wouldn't have it. I asked her to just stop being foolish and try my soup. She then looked at the soup and thought she saw a spark. She looked at me and said she understood what I was doing. I was trying to teach her a lesson with my weird games, and that I thought she was a skimmer, but she was a dipper. I asked her what she was doing, and she got ready to dive into the soup. I told her it was boiling, but she continued on. She dived into the boiling soup, dipping down, and grabbed the spark of magic. She raised it out of the cauldron and transformed it into a unicorn. The magic sanctuary started to sprout magic again, reviving the MHC. Then her wand rose out of Queen Moon's hands, remade itself now with butterfly wings and a full star crystal. And out of nothing, Star emerged and transformed into her golden ultimate magic form, her butterfly. Therefore, mastering dipping down on Cork 13th, 1012, the princess then said hello to her mother and asked where Toffee was. Once directed of his location, the princess used her new wand and shot a huge blast of magic towards him, melting his body away. Star then detransformed and slowly fell into the ground, where everyone was waiting to hug her. Toffee remained, though, now bones and slime. He told them all that they hadn't won, and that he made the plans, and only he knew how this would all turn out. Ludo then crushed him with a pillar, telling him that it turned out he was dead. Ludo was filled with lots of joy to have now gotten revenge, and to have accomplished this all by himself. Everyone else questioned if he was really gone, and agreed that he most likely was. Ludo then pulled out his scissors and asked Star to throw him back into the void so he could find himself. Star asked if he wanted to say goodbye to his bird and spider, and Ludo just looked at them and said that he was sorry, intimacy issues, and they should try to move on. He then told Star he was ready, and so she tossed him into the void, along with the bag of chips. Then from the sky came the sweet sound of music and a swarm of eagles. King River had returned, and so had all the people Ludo levitadoed into the sky. King River hopped off his eagle and ran up to Star and gave her a big hug. He explained that he had been living among the eagles since Ludo levitadoed him, and that they had made him their king too. He then asked where Moon was, and Star looked around confused. Moon was just with them. And that's where we're going to push pause on Biography Part 2. Hope you all have enjoyed, and yeah, this part of the biography was basically just the show. Hope you all enjoyed listening. See you for Part 3. Have a good day. Goodbye.